Ladies and gentlemen, I kept you all waiting long enough. It is time for more One Piece. So let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? And here I am pressing the wrong buttons. Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome to another One Piece chapter reaction and review. I got a bit of a heavy day today. Well, it's just your usual workload with One Piece, My Hero, and Jujutsu Kaisen as well. But today we celebrate a milestone for One Piece. We have reached yet another 100 chapter bracket for the series. We are now at chapters 1,100 now. So this is a big milestone. 1,100 chapters of One Piece. This is a grand adventure of a story, okay? One Piece has been going on since I was a kid, and it's still going. 1,100 chapters. But today we get to read a brand new one. Chapter 1,100. Thank you, Bonnie. Reader requests Usopp watching Sanji chop vegetables and being reminded of the Usopp pirates. As you know, Usopp is thinking about Carrot and about Carrot. Well, not Carrot, but there was another one. Onion, Tomato, and the other kid's name. I kind of forget some of their names, but I do remember Onion. But the Usopp pirates back then, while Sanji is just casually chilling. Sanji's casually chilling, chopping up stuff, but he's also getting kind of bothered by a rabbit who's just casually eating one of his carrots while Usopp is just, thinking about his old friends. Chapter 1,100, Thank You, Bonnie. Woo! Oh, and Kizaru, okay, hold up! Wait a minute! We start with Vegapunk at his lab. It's business that brings me here today, not pleasure. Whew, chilly, eh? Not at all like Punk Hazard. And we have someone who speaks with their lips off to the side like this sometimes. But we have Vegapunk going,
"This is the place where I plan to recreate the very future of humanity. In fact, I'm having difficulty keeping on top of all the ideas that flow endlessly from my mind."
And then we have, at the time, Admiral Kizaru Borsarino. As he's in his, trademark, well, he's actually, I wouldn't say he's in his trademark suit. He's actually started wearing his pinstripes, even back then. Of course, the whole of his suit isn't all of it. It's just like he's wearing a pinstripe vest with pinstripe pants, and of course his trademark white shoes, and he's got like the Admiral coat over him, and he's got like a hat on top of his head. So this is after the events of when he was a vice admiral, and he took down Arlong, but at this time, he was still wearing like, big hats and everything, and he started wearing his shades at this time too. But Kizaru speaks! "You know so many things, and yet you don't know every inch of this laboratory yet. We can't have you negotiating with pirates in secret."
"Oh, shut up, Borsalino!"
As it clearly shows a world government surveillance transponder snail up top listening to this entire conversation between Kizaru and Vegapunk.
"That is what I hate most about you."
"Look, I'm sorry, it's my job." And the thing is, with Kizaru, he doesn't have any sense of his own self outside of like, I'm just a company man. I'm just a company man, just here to do my job, and that's it. He doesn't have as much of a free spirit type of personality. He's just, like he said, he's just another cog in the machine. I'm just a person doing my job, and that's it. I don't need to think any further than that. I'm just here to work, and that's it. But amongst all the people who are stationed here at Laboratory H, what would later be known as Egghead, we see Diaz Barrels, still part of the Navy before he defected, And before the events of where Doflamingo would kill him and everyone there with the birdcage, and the events of, Corazon, Rocinante, and Law getting the Op fruit, Diaz Barrels is specifically shown here because he has a panel all by himself. It's a small one, but he's one of the members of the security detail for Vegapunk, amongst others. But he's the most notable because, I recognize that cross-shaped scar on his chin. Wait. This is not Diaz Barrels. Hold on. Don't say nothing. Don't type it. That's not Barrels. He's already dead. That's Diaz Drake before he became part of Sword. I'll excuse myself for making such a clear mistake. How did I not recognize this X-shaped scar on his chin? I apologize for everyone who thought I was an encyclopedia of One Piece knowledge. I apologize. That's not Diaz Barrels. Strike everything I said about Diaz Barrels from the record. This is Diaz Drake, Rear Admiral Drake. How did I not recognize that scar on his chin? You know what? That's the thing. He looks just like his dad. That's what got me! He looks just like his dad! This is before he started styling his hair up in a mohawk or started styling up the way he would later on at Sabaody. He looks I mistook him for his dad. That's how close he looks to him. The only difference is that he has that X-shaped scar on his chin. So this is Diaz Drake, who's on the security detail here for Vegapunk at Laboratory 8, which would, future, soon to become Egghead. But Kizaru is saying, look, I'm sorry, it's my job. And then someone on the Dendenmushi, and it's Jay Garcia Saturn who's speaking to Vegapunk, and Kuma's in the room, along with Kizaru going,
"This may not matter to you, Vegapunk, but regardless of Bartholomew Kuma's suitability to be the model of cloned soldiers, he is a pirate with a 296 million berry bounty on his head. It would shame the Navy for us to use cloned soldiers of such a man. So I have some conditions for you, Bartholomew Kuma. The first is that you will join the 7 warlords as a pirate."
So this is one of the conditions.
"A rookie named Ace recently knocked out one of the 7, and we have been searching for a replacement."
Is he referring to when Ace was fighting Jinbei? Because was Jinbei a warlord at the time when Jinbei was fighting Ace? If that's the case, then this might be the incident that he's referring to.
"The pirating world is growing restless, and you would be ideal as a warlord."
And, Kuma is looking kind of silent, is looking nervously and silently. Let's not forget, this is the same man who tried to kill him at God Valley. This is the same person speaking to him.
"My second condition, Kuma, is that you must be a human weapon for the Navy."
And then Kuma goes, "You mean have them augment my body?"
"That's right. Your unique qualities would make you a menace to other pirates."
"That'd be a big help to us in the Navy, too."
"Shut up, Kizaru!" "He's right, but Kuma also has a prior record of revolutionary activity. We cannot have that power turned against the world government. Therefore, my third condition is that you must ultimately abandon your mind and your free will."
This is Jay Garcia getting so serious because this is what he wants. He doesn't want someone who could be a very problematic individual against them. So the conditions is that he just loses his mind and free will. He just becomes a tool.
"Therefore, my third condition is that you must ultimately abandon your mind and your free will." "Now wait a second! You're asking him to die, Saint Saturn! Is this because you can't control the other 7 warlords at a whim? Removing the human will from a cyborg is just turning into a simple robot! Are you asking me to kill this man?"
And I like Vegapunk here. He is literally arguing against the whole idea of someone's free will being removed.
"You are in no position to make demands, military scientist. These are my 3 conditions to have your daughter's life saved. We have no obligation to put up the massive funds needed to save one measly little girl's life, unless you promise to uphold these conditions."
literally dangling the life of Bonnie in front of him.
We are not going to heal your daughter unless you agree to these 3 conditions.
This is murder, pure and simple. To perform such an operation would violate all human morality and...
Would you do it on me, Vegapunk?
Kuma!
I was so worried that his demands would be impossible, and I wouldn't be able to save Bonnie, despite being so close. See, you remember how Luffy didn't hesitate to choose saving, what is her name? Not Marigold, but, Margaret. To save Margaret during Amazon Lily, instead of, taking a ship and escaping because Hancock was testing him. Kuma doesn't hesitate to be all like, would you be the one to do it to me? He doesn't hesitate. He already has in mind he already has in his mind, I'm gonna save Bonnie, even if it means losing my mind and free will. Even if I am gone, I need you to save Bonnie. He doesn't hesitate. Would you do it on me, Vegapunk?
Kuma!
I was so worried that his demands would be impossible, and I wouldn't be able to save Bonnie, despite being so close. Thank you. I will gladly accept any fate if it means curing Bonnie's illness. And he says this with tears in his eyes.
Kuma!
And then Kizaru just tips his hat down. And then the Jay Garcia transponder snail just listens in. Then we have Bonnie running through the laboratory as Sentomaru chases after her. And of course, the sapphire scales have regressed a little bit more. It went from just being like a couple of dots here to actually going up the side of her face just a little bit.
Vegapunk, how long will it take for Kuma's augmentation and the full treatment of his daughter's disease?
Half a year to treat the sapphire scales, and another full year before she can go outside safely. That's a year and a half together. For Kuma's procedure, 2 years at the least.
Wow. I'm so glad. Bonnie will be cured by her 10th birthday.
Think of your daughter as our hostage. Once she is cured, you will no longer have any reason to obey us.
I'm not going anywhere. The fact that he just casually called Bonnie a hostage. I hate Jay Garcia. Think of your daughter as our hostage until this is over. You couldn't even be sly with it. You're just blatantly saying, like, think of your daughter as our hostage. This is world government, okay? I'm not going anywhere.
But we must be certain. The world government will take custody of her after her treatment. Her freedom will be granted only when you have fully lost your free will.
So this means that they're intending to make it so that Kuma and Bonnie cannot reunite after everything's said and done. Once she's been fully healed, once she's been fully cured, they're going to keep her away from Kuma until he's lost his free will and doesn't even remember her anymore. I hate him. Okay? I hate him.
Her freedom will be granted only when you have fully lost your free will.
Then Kuma and Bonnie will never see each other again once she's better.
It would seem so. While Kuma is undergoing the augmentation process, he will reign over the seas as a warlord. You will be forbidden from contacting your daughter or escaping after the procedure. If you violate that order, your daughter will be turned into a slave.
And this catches Kuma's attention. I will never meet with her, but I just have one request. I don't want Bonnie to know about her disease, or the fact that she's being held hostage. So I ask that once Bonnie's surgery is done, she will not be held in some drab government facility, but in the comfort of the church in Sorbet Kingdom where she grew up. If you promise me that, I will never go to visit her, and I will do exactly as you command me.
Very well. As long as she is under watch, it doesn't matter where. This should prove to be an interesting 2 years.
And then we cut to Kuma talking to Bonnie going, you'll be staying here for the next 6 months, Bonnie.
Huh? With you too, Daddy?
Yes, they found some disease in me as well, I need to undergo tests.
We're twins! Yay! Oh, this guy's Sentomaru.
This guy.
Look, there are lots of rooms with no windows here.
But there's lots of dangerous stuff too, be careful.
I'm going to create the weapon of my dreams! Darn it, the ideas just won't stop coming. I need someone else here to help me write out what's in my brain. I need you to eat for me and to go to the bathroom too.
This is when he started coming up with the ideas for the satellites.
I'm so busy, I just want to rage. Ooh, another idea. I'm short-handed. I need more hands. If only there were 5 more of me.
If only. And it shows Kuma undergoing the surgeries and augmentations. And it also shows Bonnie undergoing the treatment. And it shows Kuma waving at Sentomaru as Bonnie is riding on his back. It shows Bonnie drawing the pictures of her dad, of Kuma. It shows a lot of vats of different stuff glubbing. So this could be the artificial blood that he would later use for the Seraphim. And then we have Kuma and Bonnie just sleeping it all off. Then we have like a cargo ship sailing in as they're building more and more buildings for Egghead. And everyone is saying hi and getting familiar with Bonnie and Kuma. Then we have Bonnie and Kuma eating like this massive amounts of food. And this is when he started, I want to say this is when he started making his automatons and robots. I can't say that is Pythagoras, but it's someone else. That it looks like this person kind of looks like they, what does that say? It says VP, but it says 06. I can't tell if that is Pythagoras or someone else. It's definitely not dang it, what was Vegapunk what was his name? I forgot the good Vegapunk's name. He had a name too. It was something else. I forgot. I'll look it up later. But they're all eating massive amounts of food. Kizaru's chilling with them. He's eating, Kuma's eating, Bonnie's eating, Sentomaru's eating, even Vegapunk's eating. And wow, we got everyone dancing, doing the dance of Nika. And in this group, it's Kizaru, like he's chilling. He's chilling, just having a good time, chilling and dancing with everyone. Doom da da da, doom da da da. He's just chilling with everyone doing the Nika dance. 6 months later.
Good, you're coming along well.
As Vegapunk is checking up on Bonnie.
In another year, you should be good as new.
Thank you, Vegapunk. As it shows Kuma in his outfit that he would pretty much wear for the rest of his life.
Thank you. Can I come back when I'm cured? Of course.
Sorbet Kingdom.
Gomachi! Bonnie! It's been so long. Will you be living here again? In another year, I'll be all cured, and I can go outside again. Well, isn't that wonderful? Just like you said, you'll be all better by age 10.
And then we have someone walking in.
I hear you need looking after again, Bonnie. It's all back, Connie!
And it's Sorbet Kingdom Queen Dowager Connie, as she's going to be the one looking after Bonnie.
We'd be happy to take care of her, Kuma. Yeah, leave her to us.
Thank you. You're doing me a great favor. I'm a pirate now, so I can't stay here in the country. I don't think I'll be back for at least a year.
What? That long?
I'll write you plenty of letters.
Good.
And the next time we're together, we'll go and see the horizon at sea.
I can't wait! I want to go on lots of vacations!
And I would love to take you anywhere you want to go. I would have loved to do that, Kuma thinks to himself. Then we have someone walking in. We'll take it from here, Kuma.
Who's this woman?
As we have this tall woman, along with some other suspicious-looking individuals who look like doctors, but but one of them is called Cypher Pole Number 8 Intelligence Agent Alpha. So obviously, they sent Cypher Pole CP8 to keep an eye on Bonnie and make sure that Kuma never gets near her. Not as like doctors, but as surveillance people.
I'll be here to monitor Bonnie's disease until she's perfectly cured on doctor's orders. We'll be handling everything from temp checks to daily doses of medicine. Call me Nurse Alpha. Nice to meet you, Bonnie.
And she's grinning at Bonnie, but Bonnie's all like,
Huh? Who are you?
We can't have any suspicious strangers around before she's cured, so I want to see some identification from all of you.
What a bother! And what did you build out front?
That's our temporary housing.
and then this Alpha looks at Kuma and holds up a like a rock, and she goes,
A child's neck can be crushed just like that.
as a reminder that Kuma cannot stay. I know. I'm not coming back. Thank you, Bonnie.
Huh?
Thank you for being born.
What?
And then she just starts laughing.
Take care!
They called this pirate a tyrant, but Bartholomew Kuma was utterly faithful to his orders from above. His presence among the 7 warlords terrified the pirates of the world.
And then we have someone going,
Young master, there's a new warlord!
Yo! We're cutting to all the warlords seeing Kuma join them? So first, who do we know that is called Wakasama?
Young master, there's a new warlord!
Kuma the Tyrant. Well, we've got another miscreant on our hands. Then we have Robin, who was, working with Crocodile at the time.
Aren't you curious?
I don't care who it is. Anyway, have you eliminated the witness to our rain-making ship?
Then we have Mihawk, just sailing around on his own with, a destroyed ship in the distance. Sailing around on that small little dinghy of a boat. And then we have Alvida at the time, who's just like berating Kobe.
He's as big as Whitebeard, they say. Who's stronger, Kobe? Me or him?
Him.
Lady Alvida, of course.
And then we have Ace. Yo, everyone is learning about Kuma. And because we have Ace on Whitebeard's ship, as we have Jinbei on there. We have Blackbeard, we got Marco, and we got Ace. Jinbei, I hear they got a replacement already lined up. Isn't that nice?
And who are you to talk, Ace? I'm reading about it now. A former king, eh? And there's an active king in the lineup as well. The world of pirates has changed.
Then it cuts to Hancock.
It matters not to me. I will never go to Central.
But we still need information, Snake Princess.
We have Granny.
Nyon here. A pom-pommed man? What kind of power is that? Even still, he's a warlord too, master.
As we're cutting to all the current warlords. And we have Dragon, who's silent. Because, former comrade. Then we have Sabo and Koala, who's reading this news. Aren't the 7 warlords servants of the government?
Kuma would never do something like that.
And Hack is in the background, too. To Bonnie, I am writing to you at sea. It is difficult to travel now, being more famous, but I am doing well. Yo, Kuma's ship. His Jolly Roger is the picture that Bonnie made for him. Ah! Why? His Jolly Roger is the picture that Bonnie made for him with his name in the background, just simply saying Kuma. Yo! We've seen everyone's personal pirate ships, but we never seen Kuma's, and his just has, and his ship has the paw prints along the base of it, as well as bear ears on the end. But let me continue. To Bonnie, I am writing to you at sea. It is difficult to travel now, being more famous, but I am doing well. How is everyone? While I am traveling the world. And then it cuts to the news crew, who's taking the letter to Bonnie. Sorry, I know it's a long trip.
Go!
I'll find many places to take you once you've turned 10, Bonnie. And then it cuts to Luffy, who's a kid who's like much younger, and he's running away from running away from one of the tigers, like from his old island. And then someone saying,
You have new orders.
"You have new orders from the government, Bartholomew Kuma." And then it has Luffy, who's running from this tiger, going, "It's mad now!"
Where are you now?
"In the East Blue. What is your command?" Kuma is outside Windmill Village. What is he doing there? What is Kuma doing outside of Windmill Village? Has he been keeping an eye... Has he been secretly keeping an eye on Luffy all this time? He's outside of Windmill Village. And that's the end of the chapter. And we're not going on break. And we're not going on break. Okay, all right. 11 people here. Hello, everyone. If you're new to the channel, hi. But let me just see. Let me just see what you all have said real quick. Ogata, hey everyone, I've been with this wonderful series since age 22. Well, you already know how old I am now by now, and nothing has changed. I love One Piece even more. Let's go. Yes, seriously. DS Drake, I know, I corrected myself. I'm so glad that Vegapunk is standing up to Saturn. The intestinal fortitude on this man is goated. Like, you can actually trust the words of a Celestial. You can't. Couldn't tell if that was Shaka or Pythagoras. Shaka, that's his name, Shaka. I couldn't tell either. But you don't see any of them wearing hoodies. So part of me thought that it was possibly Shaka, but I think Shaka's jacket has different labels. True, it could have been changed or whatever. I believe that this Alpha lady is somehow related to Caulifla. The resemblance is telling. Very, because she's wearing like fishnet stockings and her hair is very similar to Caulifla's as well. What if, so it puts into mind, what if Alpha is the mother of Caulifla? And Caulifla just takes patterns off of her. Because, I mean, Alpha looks suspiciously similar because she's holding up like a clipboard. She's got glasses on, her hair's long, she's wearing long stockings, and she's very, very shapely like Caulifla would be later on in life. So who's to say that Alpha is not in fact related to Caulifla to some way? CP8 think they're the main villain. They not. There was actually another warlord who Kuma replaced. I wonder who that was. See, here's the thing. It doesn't say that Kuma would be replacing Jinbei. It doesn't say that Kuma would be replacing Jinbei. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of an introspective here. One Piece. Because there's always people who put up the new chapter synopsis very quickly. Let's go to 1011. Where are you? This chapter also just cemented my hatred for J. Garcia Saturn as well. So let's go through the notes. Saturn contacts Vegapunk and Kuma through a Denden Mushi carried by Kizaru, having been eavesdropping through their previous conversation. Being against secret deals between Marines and pirates, Saturn allows Bonnie's sapphire scales to be treated under 3 additional conditions. 1. Kuma must become one of the 7 warlords of the sea. 2. He must be turned into a cyborg to be used as a weapon. And then 3. He must have his free will removed by Vegapunk. According to Saturn, an unnamed warlord was defeated by Ace a few days before this agreement, leaving a vacant spot in the group. So, this confirms that whoever this warlord is, we don't know. It's a new warlord that we never heard of. It's a new warlord. It's a new warlord. Because it doesn't say that it's Jinbei being replaced. Drake was present at Egghead during his meeting. Yep, I'm glad I corrected myself. Otherwise, me saying that, oh, is that Diaz Barrels there? That would have stuck there. I'm glad I corrected myself. Despite Vegapunk's protest, Kuma agrees on the condition that Bonnie will be kept safe at the Sorbet Kingdom. He is also not allowed to meet Bonnie ever again after her treatment. And, I mean, after his treatment, he'll never know who Bonnie is because his whole free will be removed. Vegapunk speculates that it will take 1.5 years to fully treat Bonnie and 2 years to finish converting Kuma. After Bonnie is treated of her disease, a CP8 team led by Cypherpol Agent Alpha pose as Bonnie's medical overseers to covertly keep her hostage. At the end of the chapter, Kuma is seen approaching Fusha village in the East Blue where he receives an undisclosed mission. Now, we don't know what this mission is, but it brings to mind why he's even at Luffy's home in the first place. I was thinking it could have been one of the Blackbeard pirates from Impel Down, but I think it might be a reach since their crimes were hidden or something. Yeah, probably. Does Kuma already know that Luffy was Nika? I don't know. We don't know why he's even there. He's getting new orders, but we don't know why he's there. So let me go through what else y'all said. I believe this let me see. I can understand the other panels, but not sure why Kobe and Alvida are there. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be the unnamed warlord Ace Beat. She isn't. She's just there for comic relief to, say like, who's stronger, him or me, Kobe? And we all know that Kuma is light years more powerful than Alvida. I figured that was just like a jab at Alvida because we all know that every single person who showed up as a pirate in this list is stronger than Alvida. Every single one of them. So I think she was just thrown in as a gag, as a person to say like, I'm as strong as him, aren't I? I'm stronger than him, aren't I? And then Kobe's all like, yeah, you are stronger, Lady Alvida. But it's I feel like it's meant to be a joke because it's like, I'm stronger than all of them, but we know better, don't we? But yeah, that's just how it is. But what's Kuma doing in his hometown? Maybe he's just sailing, but never docked there. I wonder. Alvida wasn't strong enough to have been considered a warlord. Alvida ain't strong enough to beat someone like Buggy. Alvida, and actually, you know what? I feel like Alvida and Buggy are on the same playing field, but Alvida actually puts in more effort. Things that make you go, Remember in Thriller Bark, Kuma knows Luffy is Dragon's son. Maybe he did meet Luffy, but he removed his memories. We don't know. Does Kuma already know that Luffy was Nika? But what are Kuma's orders? Kuma, yo, Ravi, good to see you. But what is Kuma's orders there? Kuma doesn't know Makino, Dadan, or even Whoop Slap, right? I don't know. We don't know. Jinbei being already a warlord before Kuma even joined. I was thinking it could have been one of Blackbeard Pirates. Yo, I'm late. So, there's a lot of things that transpired in this chapter. So, Kuma is undergoing his cyborg processing over the years while Bonnie's being healed. Bonnie's being held hostage to ensure that Kuma doesn't do anything against the world government in order for Bonnie to be cured. Like, Kuma, being one of the coolest and smoothest dudes ever, he's willing to let go of his own humanity and put that on the table if it means saving the daughter of the woman he cared for. But this chapter also made me hate Saturn even more because he's just so adamant. And the fact that he was just so nonchalant about like, we're going to keep her as a hostage. I'm like, you could have said that's far more slick-like. You could have been a far more sly about it, but he's all like, yeah, we're keeping her think of her as a hostage. Just to further drive that knife in the side there, like there's nothing you can do without our help. So we're going to keep her as a hostage and you're going to get over it. But what I will commend is Vegapunk arguing against one of the elders. Just vehemently arguing against one of the elders. You haven't seen this type of arguing against a superior, say for Fujitora arguing against Akainu and during the aftermath of Dressrosa, where he publicly bowed his head and apologized for all the turmoil that happened to Dressrosa. You haven't seen like arguing amongst superiors to this degree since then. So I commend Vegapunk for that. Though, even though and mind you, he's very against the idea. Removing the human will from a cyborg just turns them into a simple robot. Are you asking me to kill this man? And then, because he also says, now wait a second, you're asking him to die, Saint Saturn. Is this just because you can't control the other 7 warlords at a whim? And then Saturn's all like, you're in no position to make demands, military scientist. He doesn't even call him Vegapunk here. He just calls him by what he sees him as. He doesn't even see Vegapunk as a person. He doesn't, because normally if you see an individual by a person, you wouldn't call them by their job title or their job position. or by anything else. You'll call a person that you see as an individual by their name. But he just calls them, you're in no position to make demands, military scientist. Just driving it home that the Gorosei really don't see anyone else as human. They just see them as tools to be used, if that's possible, and just insects to be crushed. Because he did say those words not too long ago. But those are the conditions. We have no obligation to put up the massive funds needed to save one measly little girl's life unless you promise to uphold these conditions. And Kuma just without hesitation says, yeah, I'll do it. So, I love Kuma here. He's just teary-eyed that there's a way for Bonnie to be saved. He's crying after saying, I'll do this, because there's a way for her to be saved. I'm okay with it. And then we just see as time goes on, he gets those parts added to his body over time. Like those cybernetic parts, like that one dial spot, that one dial pauldron he gets on his shoulder that Zoro barely manages to even dent in their first encounter. And then we see Bonnie being operated on as well. And everyone's chilling, everyone's having a good time. Kizaru's chilling, having a good time. The fact that Kizaru's chilling with all these people who would later become his adversaries. He's just casually chilling with him, eating gigantic slices of pizza. Don't do this, Oda. Don't do this to me, Oda. You're gonna make me want some pizza now. Gigantic slices of pizza, and they're just casually chilling, eating, having a good time. And then Egghead is slowly being built over time, like more and more as time goes on. But yeah, you get the idea. Everyone finds out that Kuma's a new warlord, Doflamingo, Crocodile, Mihawk, Alvida, the Whitebeard Pirates, Jinbei, Hancock, Gecko Moria, Sabo and the Revolutionaries. They find out as well, and then it just shows Kuma heading towards Windmill Village. Don't know why he's going there, though. I have so many questions, and the fact that we're not going on break, but Kuma's memories haven't completely removed yet until the Marineford arc, right? Right. It wasn't until, because the thing is, and Sentomaru made note of this, is that some things were going on with Kuma leading up to when the first Straw Hat made it back to the Sunny, is that he was behaving strangely. So, even though it seems like he was supposed to have no free will at all, he still had one last order put into him that protected the Sunny. And this was also during the time, like before that, he still had his mind, but during that afterwards, he just stopped completely. And I think when we got to up until the Marineford arc, he still had his mind. He still had his mind, because remember, he spoke to Rayleigh saying, like, I'm a member of the Revolutionary Army, and I want to help these pirates. So it was then that he still had his mind. But up to Marineford, he was gone. Up until when we reached Marineford, he was gone. Yet, he still had one more secret order put into him that made him want to protect the Sunny when the Straw Hats were all separated. So, after the events of Marineford, I guess he protected the Sunny along with Duval and his pirates and everyone else who were friends with the Straw Hats for 2 whole years. For 2 whole years, he defended the Sunny. And then when his orders was done, he just went to being a soulless weapon for the world government again. Oda, please make Saturn suffer before this arc ends. His actions are irredeemable. Is Kuma's flashback going to end up in my top 5 best flashbacks? They're already right there, DJ. They're already right there. Can I say that? The flashbacks of Kuma, they're already fantastic. Just like the flashbacks for Oda. Not Oda, but Odin. Where we got to see young Prime Whitebeard, Prime Roger, and how strong he was. And the adventures of Odin with not only the Whitebeard pirates, but the Roger pirates as well. So this backstory is great for me. I love it. It takes a terrifying character that we knew that was like, oh yeah, he's going to be an issue, and turns him into one of the most benevolent and a character that I respect. I wish Vegapunk would have said, sure, you fake god, but that probably would have proved fatal. It probably would have. It probably would have made it very difficult for Bonnie to get cured if for Bonnie to get cured if Vegapunk just went off on Saturn with absolutely no repercussions. Does Dragon call to Vegapunk to change Kuma's orders protecting Straw Hat's sunny ship? That's the question. We don't know. I really hope we will go back to the story. Sabaody Archipelago. Archipelago Kuma still had his mind, so why Bonnie was free there? What's to say that Bonnie didn't escape? Because remember, Bonnie is who's to say? So who's to say that Bonnie, because you can't say that the world government was watching Bonnie the entire time. So obviously she got out and wanted to see the world for herself and not being held back. But why would Vegapunk change Kuma's last order like protecting the sunny ship? I'm pretty sure this has something to do with, maybe it has something to do with the revolutionaries. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know the fullest extent on how that order was given, from who was it given, where the idea for that order even came from, and how that whole thing transpired. There's a lot of ideas centered around this. We know an order was given, but we don't know by who. There's a lot of speculations, a lot of theories, but we just don't know the concrete facts, and we gotta wait until Oda gets us to that point. I would not be surprised if going through these flashbacks, we see snippets of Kuma's life when we've interacted with him in the series before the time skip, such as like him going to the meeting with the warlords, him going to Thriller Bark and dealing with basically everybody there, him being at another warlord meeting when Teach was also part of them as well. So we're just gonna have to see, because at a certain point we're gonna have to see Bonnie's life as she gets older and grows up through life as well, because she clearly has memories of Kuma. Those are not gone, because remember how she was acting when she saw Kuma being treated as a slave back in Marijois. We now know full well why this is such a touchy subject for her and why she reacted that way. Another question is why she was so undeniably sad when Whitebeard died. Like, she was tearing up and crying when Whitebeard died. So we don't know the fullest extent of every little thing between Bonnie and Kuma and the events leading up to when we would later see them in the series. But that moment, I feel, is coming. I feel like if we're going to stay in this flashback and get to the point where we get back to the present, where the Straw Hat crew are still dealing with Kizaru and Jay Garcia as we're going on this flashback while Bonnie's in the clutches of Jay Garcia. Remember, the last time we saw everything in the present, Bonnie was being slightly crushed by Jay Garcia in his, demon ox form. So that's the last time we saw anything in the present. And now we're dealing with this flashback right now. So who knows where things are going to go? But I don't know. The fact that we're not going on break after chapter 1100, that's kind of cool to me. Really hope Saturn gets defeated this arc and the reaction to that, lovely. Look, to see the mere thought of a member of the Godosei being defeated, that is something that even the world can't even comprehend. Because the world doesn't even know anything about the Five Elders. They just know that there's a world government and there's people who rule it, but they don't know the finer people who rule over it. So just the mere implications of one of the most powerful individuals in the world being defeated, that would shake the world even more than Kaido and Big Mom being defeated at Wano. But I don't know if we'll see that happen, though, because I feel like the Gorosei should be defeated by members of the Revolutionary Army, just to hit that nail on the head even further. I don't know. We'll have to see. Should a Gorosei fall from their position, that is something that could trump literally every major world event that has happened over the entirety of the series, other than Roger being seen as the king of the pirates and circumnavigating the world. That's how big news like that would be. The news of Kaido and Big Mom was already monumental. People thought that these two individuals were invincible, yet they were defeated anyway, and it shook the world. It shook the balance of the world. Then, the seven warlords are gone. That shook the world as well. Think of how big of a splash in the pond it would be if a member of the Gorosei were to be defeated somehow. I know, it's a way out in the left field type of idea, but imagine. Imagine how much the world will change if the five elders suddenly become four. No longer having a godhead of science and research of science and research. But we'll never know. We'll never know unless Oda decides to go in that direction. So, we just gotta wait until next week to see where the next chapter brings us. We are in December, ladies and gentlemen. Can y'all believe it? This year is on borrowed time now. This is the last month of this year. The last big moment for you to get everything you needed to get done in 2023 done. This is the last half of the year. This is the home stretch. So let's see how One Piece does it. Let's see how My Hero does it. Let's see how Jujutsu Kaisen does it. And speaking of My Hero, it's time to get started with that. So with everyone here, I just want to say, before you all go, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening to me give you a dramatic reading of the newest chapter of One Piece. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by as well. To all my moderators, to all my viewers, to all my subscribers, to all my members, especially my members, thank you for your support for everything I do here. I got a lot of things lined up that I'm going to be doing this month. Got a lot of things I'm going to be doing every single day except for Sundays because I'm reading through all of Fire Force, and I got a lot of things I'm going to be doing in February and into next year as well, and I can't wait to share it all with you because I just love to do this. So thank you for all that you do for me. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and even become a member because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples, on to My Hero.